Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to, first of all, remind you that last week I went into a lot of detail about this paper. So if today you want to maybe backtrack and look at that detail, you can. But hopefully today I can make it clear as to what this illustration essay is going to look like. And I personally love illustrations. I tend to speak in them often. I tend to see a lot of applications to things and make connections. And part of that's just, I think, maybe a culture in my family of storytelling. We're big storytellers, not fishtails, although I'm sure that sometimes they have that element to them, but a lot of remember whens. And sometimes when I'm tucking my kids in, I'm not so much creative in terms of creating stories for them, but they'll say, tell me a story about when I was little. And they just lay there and giggle and giggle and giggle about things that they said and did, and I'll imitate the way they talked and that kind of thing. And it's funny, we live on illustrations. I would argue that storyness and the idea of having a picture image through a storyline to go with any lesson or idea or even an argument in our case can really make our writing stronger. We tend to gravitate towards stories. As people, we do a lot of data crunching. I don't know if your jobs or your current school situation requires you to look at data. I know education is moving further and further that way, but I maintain that my best data or evidence of student growth is through personal illustrations and stories of success. You may not see it on their test scores, for example, when I'm talking about my undergraduate student or my high school students, but I feel like we can really see it in lives changed sometimes before that. So illustrations are powerful, and so you have a powerful tool at your disposal today. You may not be a storyteller, but that doesn't mean that you can't infuse your style through illustrations. Maybe you like quotes or quips or just examples. Think in those terms, and that works too. If you're a person who feels like you never have enough to say and you run out of ideas before you run out of page space, using illustration might be a way to elaborate on your work. We're not using it just to fill space. It's purposeful. It's to allow our reader to enter into our conversation that's going on in our head. Okay, so what are you doing this week? You have a peer edit and a final draft. It's always more effective if you post that peer edit by Wednesday or so that we actually have time to edit it, okay? But obviously this is meant to be a flexible class and I respect that. When you post your peer edit, you're going to post it to the discussion board. I'd like you to post, first of all, your rough draft, even if it's a part of a rough draft. And then ask a question, if you can, about something you specifically want your classmates to look at. When you go back into edit, could you spread the wealth around? Some of you go in there early and it's easier to edit earlier ones. Even if you're already done with your paper, could you go back in and edit some of our late people, because they can't help it sometimes. Sometimes life just happens fast and furious to all of us, right? Speaking of, I got to get out of here and take 2 kids to a doctor's appointment. Not even an appointment, sick bay. I'm 2 for 3 today. You guys can relate, right? Just life comes at you unexpectedly. So when you get done with your peer edit process, that's the original post and the reply posts, please copy and paste anything that you wrote back to me, including your rough draft. So to get full credit, you're going to include your rough draft or partial rough draft and the comments you made to peers. The final draft then, make sure you include that feedback form. That's important to me to continue that conversation and to give you the most thorough ideas about your writing as I can. And if possible, copy and paste it using the very left option on the paste, which will maintain the format and allow me to fill in the chart that's in the course content. And this is all in course content. Have a great week, and if you hear the hacking and copying in the background, you realize that I gotta go to that doctor. Have a good week. Bye-bye.